To make this first flower, we're starting with the smaller 6 petals and doing 3 together with a little strip of hot glue along the bottom side of one. So I put a little strip of hot glue there and then lay the second petal right on top of it and then do that again for a third petal. So just a little strip of hot glue on that bottom right section and then lay this on top. So I have a chain of 3 of these small petals. Then I just roll it up from left to right. I'm right-handed, so I'm moving towards my glue gun hand and just put a little bit of hot glue there to secure it. And we've got the center of this felt flower, and we're going to attach those 3 other petals in the same size around the center. So I hold it to make sure the glue has hardened, and then I put a little bit of hot glue along the bottom of one of these small petals and then just pinch it around the center. I kind of like to do it where those petals are coming kind of in front, overlapping, not necessarily stacked right behind a petal in front of it, but you can place it wherever you want to and just stagger these 3 petals around the center. I kind of just pinch it at the bottom and just hold it and just adjust things as I go to let the glue just really secure it. And then I do this third petal and just put it right there where the gap is, and I have all 6 of the small petals from this pattern that have been used are now attached to this flower. So I have 5 of the larger petals that I will put around this center of this flower. So to attach the large petals, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm putting a little bit of glue at the bottom and then just finding a spot where I like it and then just putting it right there, lining up the bottom of the large petal with the bottom of the felt flower center that I've already assembled, just holding it and just continue going around. Now you can kind of watch and see how much they overlap just a little bit, and you can kind of pull and tug a little if you need to, but we're just slightly overlapping. They do kind of come across each other, but not necessarily too much. So maybe like 1/4 of the way. And we have 3 petals now, 2 left, and we're just kind of looking as we go to make sure that it's going to space out evenly. But, flowers don't have to be perfect. Our petals just fall where they fall, and they look pretty and really natural this way too. So I've got this 4th petal, and I've got room to tuck the 5th one in. So I've glued it at the bottom, and there's plenty of room to kind of tuck this in and then bring the petal next to it over so that each petal is over on one side and under on the other. And if I need to adjust things, I can kind of just pull things around and then glue along the side if I need to get it to stay how I want. So you can kind of come back up and touch up the spots where you want a little bit more glue or want things to stay in one spot. You can also add hairspray, and that will stiffen the felt a little bit and it will stay, how you want it to as you adjust your flowers. So like at this spot, you could spray it with hairspray or fabric stiffener, and then that would help the petals kind of stay how you like them. So we have finished this first flower and are ready to go into the next one. And this is using that pointed petal shape. I have the center strip, and I'm just doing a curved line. I'm using fabric scissors, and I'm just doing kind of up and then down, all the way down the strip. And then what we're going to do is just roll it up. So it kind of looks funny right now. Don't worry, it's going to look really cool once we roll it up. Just start on one side, tuck it in with my thumb, and roll along. And sometimes you have to kind of get started and let it go and try again just to get the feel of it. Just tuck it and roll it and keep the bottom flat, and that top wavy part will give us some really cool dimension. So I just attach it with glue when I get to the end, and that will help it to just stay nice and tight. But you don't have to worry about gluing along the whole strip unless you want to. You totally can. Okay, so this is a really simple center, and we're ready to add our petals. For each of these 6 petals, we're doing a little bit of glue at the bottom, a strip of glue. We're pinching it closed and holding it to let it dry. We'll do that for all of the petals, and then what I'm going to do is take some small scissors and cut a little angled line. And what this helps with is having a straight edge on the inside of each of these petals. That straight edge will help us have a spot for glue to attach it to the center. Okay, so I just keep repeating the same process for all 6 petals. Just take it and glue and then pinch it closed. Be careful not to get glue on your fingers. This Surebond or Detail Tip hot glue gun I uses mini glue sticks. It doesn't get super hot, and so the hot glue doesn't really bother me, but I know it does bother a lot of people. So if you want to put like a little clip there, you can use these they're called quilting clips to hold it for you. Or you can use finger protectors. You can get at Dollar Tree or somewhere like that to protect your fingers from the hot glue, because I know that can be painful. So just kind of keep that in mind, that this step might have some hot glue that oozes out. So just be careful about that. Just use a little bit of glue, use some clips if you need to so your fingers don't even touch this spot. And then just some small scissors to snip that edge. So we have a straight edge to add hot glue, and we'll just attach it to the center here in just a few seconds. This is the last petal. Snip it, and then we're ready to go back and put glue right there along that little straight edge. And I'm going over to the center and just placing it wherever I want to. Now, it doesn't have to line up with the bottom. If you want the petal to be up a little higher, you can do that. We do want all of our petals to be pretty even, but we're just going to put these right next to each other. So just pick where you want it as far as like the height of your petal in relation to the center, and then just go all the way around adding your petals. Okay, so there will be room for all 6, and you put them kind of close together where the petals are right next to each other. These petals aren't necessarily overlapping, but they are snug right up close to each other. Okay, and if you need to adjust something, you can. Like if you feel like 6 petals is too crowded, you can just use 5. You can spread them out. I know every time it doesn't always turn out the same way, so don't be afraid to adjust things to what you need and what works for you as you are making these flowers. So we've got this last petal that we're putting on, and we're finished with flower number 2 for this collection, this little felt flower collection. And we have a little added accent flower that also works really well as a felt flower center. So whenever I'm teaching you these different techniques, you can combine all of these techniques with different shapes. You can put different centers with different petals, and you can use like this pinching technique with different shapes. So that's why I've kind of built up my website the way I have, where I have a lot of different shapes for you to use however you want to. So this is a technique where you do glue along the length of a strip. This is a 1-inch wide strip, and then you fold it in half, and we're going to cut fringe along the folded side. Okay, so we just fold it in half. Be careful about that glue. And then I'm going to take some small scissors and snip fringe along this edge, this folded edge. Okay, so I had a long strip here and ended up cutting it. You can always adjust the size of your strip. The pattern has a specific size that I recommend, and the kit will come with a specific size that I ended up using. So this is just the size that I have liked for this design. Okay, so I'm just going along the edge, just snipping about halfway across, maybe a little bit more, and you'll get better with practice as you do this more and more. Just go all the way down the length of this strip. And then once we get all the way to the end, all we're going to do is roll it up and glue as we go. So this is a really simple but really pretty little accent flower, and also works great as the center of a felt flower. So I just roll it up a little bit, hold it, hot glue, and then roll it up the rest of the way. You can glue and roll a little bit as you go if you're kind of getting the hang of it, but just whatever works for you. So I glued it all the way to the end. You can see me kind of mess up a little bit. I haven't sped any of this up. So this is the real me making flowers, nothing edited, including glue stuck to my fingers. But I wanted to just really give you a true glimpse into how I make these so that you can learn alongside of me. And then this little wooden disc is an option in a kit as well, or by itself. I just love things like this, add felt flowers too. So I wanted to make some of these options available to you. And if you have the kit or have the wooden disc where you're adding the felt flowers, or really any sign you find that you like, you can add felt flowers too. I just do a little bit of hot glue, kind of nestle them together like this, and then fill it in with an accent blossom and some faux greenery. I love lamb's ear for faux greenery. It's my favorite. And you can definitely use felt greenery as well, but I actually really prefer lamb's ear or faux greenery for things like this, because it has some dimension and just helps you tie everything together. It also kind of brings in the felt and the wood, and I feel like it just provides some texture that just really looks pretty together. So I am just gluing with hot glue and sticking these in, and if the piece of leaf that you want to use is too long, you can just cut that. So don't be afraid to make adjustments to things. I realize this is just a little bit too big, and so I'm going to cut it down some with just some regular scissors, and then it'll fit right there. And I just want the leaves to kind of be underneath the leaves, or the petals just kind of tucked in there. You don't want to see like the base of any of this. You want it to all kind of be tucked in and overlapping, so it looks really pretty and seamless and really professional. So I've got these 2 on either side, and then I'm going to tuck this smaller one kind of down in the middle center, like the bottom of this, and that will be a pretty little addition right there. And then I did decide to go and add one at the top towards the end, and I just cut that and added a little piece of leaf that you can see. But really, however you want to, add these to your wooden piece, this is completely optional to do whatever you want, whatever you like, which is the fun thing about getting creative and crafty. So this is what the back looks like, just the solid wood ready for you to glue a rope or twine on it.